little party animals. hiphiprenee here today with a brand new speed build for you. And wow, it's a normal speed build on my YouTube channel. It's been quite some time. And I do feel like every time I make a YouTube video, I say it's been quite some time because it has been. My main platform for quite a while at this point has been TikTok. It's just been a little bit more conducive to the type of content I've been wanting to create lately. But with the state of TikTok, the way that it is, and with the way that the United States government is, we don't know if we're going to have TikTok. We don't know if we're going to be allowed to use TikTok for much longer at this point. Our government is basically trying to ban TikTok, and it's honestly so much more than them banning TikTok. It really genuinely is, but I'm not going to go into everything that it is that they are trying to do. But even taking away the fact that they are essentially trying to take away TikTok from, millions upon millions of people who a lot of them do rely on it for income and other sorts of things. There's just a lot of insidious things happening. And with the fact that we don't know if we're going to have TikTok for much longer, I do think it's time for me to make a little bit of a YouTube return. So I'm hoping that I can start creating a little bit more content that I can use for both TikTok and YouTube. I am going to be coming out with a Let's Play pretty soon that is going to be about Agnes Crumplebottom, who I have aged down and I have recreated her husband, Eric. So we will be doing a little Let's Play with them. I know Let's Plays have not really been my thing ever, and I'm not the best at them, and I'm not the best at keeping up with them, but we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna see what happens, and I am gonna try and make a little bit more YouTube content. I'm gonna try and bring back some brief history. I've really struggled with doing brief histories recently. It's a lot of effort to do a brief history. Obviously there's a lot of figuring out scripting and looking into whatever it is that I'm working on for brief history. It's a lot of work, and I just haven't had the time or energy to be able to do it recently. That being said, this is a build that I did on my TikTok, but I did record it in the background because I knew I wanted to do a full speed build for this. It has been a long time since I have had kind of the itch to build, you know what I mean? You get into these kind of moods when it comes to The Sims. A lot of people that kind of the running joke in the Sims community is that you play The Sims nonstop for 6 days straight and then you don't play for 3 months. And that's kind of how I felt with building recently. I've opened up the game and I've tried to build and nothing's come to mind and I haven't enjoyed anything and it's just felt really stale to me, so I haven't wanted to do it. And then we got the new Growing Together pack, which we all know that I was never super excited for a Generations pack to come out. That's not something that I've been sitting here frothing at the mouth for, needing a Generations pack like a lot of other people have. It just wasn't something that super crazy appealed to me, which is interesting to me also because I am a family style game player. When I do play The Sims, which has been a lot recently actually on my own time, I love playing just a cute little happy family. And you would think that that would be perfectly conducive to a Generations pack, but I don't know. It wasn't something that excited me. And then Growing Together came out, and of course I did buy it because I have an addiction and a problem, like most of us do. And I love this pack. I love this pack. The new world is gorgeous. I'm gonna start by saying the new world is gorgeous. That being said, it is very small, and there's a lot of spaces in that world that really just feel why is there not a buildable lot here? And I understand, the computer performance situation and all that kind of stuff, but at this point, I mean, come on, you got to give us at least a couple more lots, at least at 15. At least, because this is getting a little silly. But anyway, I've really been enjoying the gameplay in Growing Together. I think it has made The Sims harder to play, which is something that I personally really enjoy, because a lot of things that I have complained about in the past have been, it's too easy to make money, it's too easy for my Sims to be happy and have this big beautiful house and blah 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 blah. It's tough now. it's hard. Like, I had an infant, the first infant that I had, I started a new family, not a new family. I put me and my husband, Rob, in the game. And of course, we had a baby, and my first baby got like the worst infant trait you could possibly have because apparently I didn't take care of him well enough. I don't know how that happened because all I did was take care of him. My Sims couldn't even go to work. We were poor. We had no money. They were freaking out all the time. It was so horrible. And I still just apparently didn't do the parenting thing right. It was awful. But anyway, the game has gotten a lot harder. It's a lot more challenging, which I have been really, really enjoying. It is nice to go into a Sims game and like almost kind of panic while you're playing with your Sims and be like, I don't have enough time to do all of these things that my Sim needs to do. Like, how are we going to get that next promotion if I can't get them even to stand in the bathroom long enough to get their charisma skill up? How am I going to have them get this promotion at work, but also take care of their brand new infant? How am I going to deal with the fact that we are currently pregnant, but we only have a small house and we need a new house, but I can't send my Sim to work because they have too many things to do around the house? Like, it's becoming more of a management game, which is something that I genuinely enjoy. So I don't know, leave your thoughts in the comments below on if you bought the Growing Together pack, if you're enjoying it, if you're also finding that it's a little harder to play the game than it used to be. I don't know. I'm really liking it. But let's discuss this house a little bit now that half of it has already gone by. So I went on to Pinterest and I made a TikTok video about how, everyone just kind of, they don't talk about it. We don't talk about it a lot, but a lot of us will just go on Pinterest and find floor plans, and that's kind of either what we work off entirely or that becomes our starting point for a build. So there are, of course, people out there who just, open up a blank lot on The Sims and just from their big, beautiful brains, they come up with these amazing builds. And that's great for them. That's not something that I am able to do. I always need to have some sort of a reference or some sort of a starting point. And typically, a floor plan is a starting point for me. So you saw at the beginning of the video, I was building the exterior of the house, and I actually had the floor plan in the exterior of the house that I was trying to kind of not super recreate, but definitely was my major inspiration. And I worked off of that. I did try and keep the exterior of the house as similar to the reference photo as possible. But then, of course, once you get inside, we all know that the dimensions in The Sims, they just don't line up. And I had a lot of people in my TikTok comments going, no, they do line up. Like, every square is 3 by 3 feet or, blah, 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 blah. Which, I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense because that would mean that this couch right here is 12 feet across. Please tell me the last time that you sat on a couch that wasn't a sectional that is literally 12 feet across. It's not. The dimensions just do not line up and they do not make sense from the game to real life. So a lot of it is eyeballing. And then, of course, when you're working off a floor plan, sometimes you look at it and you're like, okay, I could see how this would work in real life. But in The Sims, this is not going to translate as well, so I need to make a few little changes here and there. So obviously, I had to make a couple little changes. I tried to keep it as accurate to the floor plan as possible, as far as like kind of where the rooms were and, where the stairs were and all that kind of stuff. But I did add my own little kind of touches and flares and, this kind of thing. I will say it's been a while since I did a speed build, and because I did this in parts because I was recording it for TikTok, there are a few sections of this build you'll notice, like when we went into the kitchen was like already built. When we went into the house at the beginning, the entryway was like already built. When we just went into this master bedroom, that little sitting area when you first walk into the bedroom was already built. Like, I straight up forgot to start recording things at some points. So please forgive me while I kind of get back into this a little bit. I am working on this kind of floor plan situation being almost like a little series. I don't want to call it a series in the sense that like you're going to see these constantly or consistently, like on the same day every week or even weekly or monthly. But it is something that I do want to continue doing because I realized when I put this video up on TikTok that a lot of people apparently didn't even think that like, oh, hey, I can go on Pinterest or Google or on home websites or floor plan websites and look up floor plans and have that as kind of a starting point. So I really want to kind of show off like just finding different floor plans and using different floor plans and, you know, kind of seeing the starting point of this is what I started with as far as what I was looking at, and this is what I ended up with when I actually went into the game and started building it and, you know, kind of add my own little flourishes and things like that. So I think that's going to be just kind of like a fun little thing that we're going to do. I will say I did not limit myself with packs with this build, and you're not really going to see me limit myself with packs in the future either. That's just not a thing that I do. There are plenty of really amazingly creative people out there who do single pack builds or base game builds, and that's kind of a thing that they make a mainstay on their channels or in their galleries. That's not something that I personally enjoy. I understand that there's a lot of people out there that do not have all the packs and, you know, whatever. I do, and I paid for them, and I would like to be able to use them. And there are points where I will try and do a single pack build, or I will try and do a base game build. And I'm like, oh, I really want to use this item. And I don't even realize, oh, hey, that's from like some random stuff pack from like multiple years ago, and I need to use that one item to make this portion of the build make sense. I don't like struggling in that way. So I'm sorry, single pack builds and base game builds and things like that, that's just not something that you are going to see from me. So if that's something that you're looking for, this is not the place for you. I'm so sorry. So I did use a lot of packs in this, but I will say I tried to really focus, especially on like the flooring and the walls and things like that, on the things that came with growing together. I am obsessed with the bathroom tile and the just like the tile in general that came with growing together, because we didn't get a lot of wallpapers or flooring with that pack, which is a little sad. But we got some new exteriors, and I did use the new exteriors on the outside of this. We did get, again, that new tile that I am just absolutely obsessed with, specifically that green swatch that I used. Oof, 10 out of 10. I absolutely love that. So yeah, this is just, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how to do a voiceover anymore. And it's going to be a struggle for the next couple speed builds that we do, but we're going to do our best. We're going to trudge through, and we're going to, you know, kind of find our way again. And I hope that everyone really enjoyed this build, because I really enjoyed doing this build. It had been, like I said, so long since I've done a build and since I've actually enjoyed and wanted to do a build. And I really kind of put, you know, my whole Sims heart and soul into this one, and I'm feeling just a little bit more creative than I was. I did also build this in my save file that's not a save file. So, you know, I did build a family to go along with it. You see them in a couple of the screenshots. So hopefully someday, years from now, maybe, I will finish that save file, and it'll be something that you can play with and something that you can open up and check out all my families. I've tried to make them interconnected, and I've given them all jobs and, you know, little quirky traits and all those fun little things. So hopefully you enjoy that. I really appreciate you being here for this speed build. I will hopefully have another one up fairly soon. I do have the next couple days off, so I'm going to try and record some content, get some things done, so that way we can have some more YouTube videos coming out. And then, of course, we have the Guilty as Sim podcast that you will see probably once monthly on this channel as well, along with P-Frog Sims. Thank you again so much for being here. Thank you to my patrons for supporting me. I really appreciate you as always. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.